Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. Before we jump into this video, if you are a first-time patron of the channel, we would like to welcome you. Think about becoming a subscriber. Jason and I are always dropping boxing-related content, whether that's documentaries, fight breakdowns, or short clips. We do it all here. So make sure you become a subscriber and hit the thumbs up or the thumb down if you don't like the content, but make sure that you are engaging. Now, Jay, this is an interesting topic that you and I discussed a little bit yesterday. Actually, we discussed it over the last couple of days. Bernie the boxer, who is one of the trainers of Keyshawn Davis, was on Mill City. Shout out to Mill City for the wonderful work he's doing over there. And they went through a litany of questions. I guess they were doing a live stream, and maybe some of the people in the comment section were asking questions. But they talked a little bit about Keyshawn and who he's fighting, which is De Los Santos' record and his background and who he's faced and all this other good stuff. And they talked about Keyshawn potentially being a weight bully at 135 pounds, which, of course, Bernie the Boxer argued against that, saying that Keyshawn Davis is absolutely the perfect 135 pounder. Now, this directly contradicts what Bomac said several months ago, where he said that he would like to see Keyshawn stay at 135 pounds to continue to take advantage of that weight division. I would assume
Mm.
that when he says take advantage of the weight division, he means he has a size advantage. Bernie the Boxer is arguing something different. Well, rumors are currently circulating, Jason, that Turkey Al Sheik is actually pushing for Keyshawn Davis to move up to 140 pounds to potentially face Teofimo Lopez. Now, we talked about this, I don't know, maybe 2 months or so ago, that potentially this
Yeah.
fight could occur after Keyshawn's win of the WBO title, and that this was potentially a fight that could occur. And now there are rumblings under the surface here or in the background that potentially this fight could move forward. And it would now, in my mind, make sense as to why Bernie the Boxer is now arguing for Keyshawn to stay at 135 pounds, because potentially they're already laying the groundwork that they have been saying that they want to be at 135 for the longest, and it gives Keyshawn an out in regards to potentially making this type of fight. Now, we've heard Keyshawn in the past talking about he wants Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis and Teofimo Lopez would be on the same plane in terms of experience, not necessarily what they bring in terms of market value, but still, if you're looking
Yeah.
for the best and you're stating that you want to fight and make the best fights, as far as I can see, he looks pretty big at 135 pounds when you compare him to Baranchik and some of these other guys. So Teofimo Lopez and the fact that they have a history together, in my opinion, would make sense for a fight like that to take place. And it would be the first time, in my opinion, that Turkey is actually making a fight that actually has a reasonable background that would make sense in terms of some level of history. So I feel like
Agreed.
Bernie is laying that groundwork to say, nah, we shouldn't be making that fight. But if you want that smoke, like Keyshawn has been saying, he want that smoke, then make the fight. What are your
They
thoughts on the
put on
potential
top
of this
rank.
fight and what it might look like? Would you be interested in seeing a fight like this?
I'll be interested, but let me be clear. I can't stand Tio. But in my mind, he has the actual advantage in this matchup with
You just told me
Keyshawn
last week he
and
your
Tio.
favorite fighter.
Who?
You just told me last week he your favorite fighter. That's what you told me.
I said he was your favorite fighter? Yeah, you did say it. You did say that. So, I mean, he has the advantage in Keyshawn over experience, and Keyshawn's been looking good, but he's been looking good against the same type of fighter. Slow footed fighters that's over the hill in a sense and smaller. In this sense here with Tio, he'll be about the same size, and Tio's in his prime. And he's very athletic, and he has power. That's something Keyshawn has only dealt with once, and that was on the Madueno fight. That's how I pronounce the name. I'm getting like you messing up names. And that dude had power, and Keyshawn like he couldn't get him up out of there. He was worried about that guy's power. Didn't have to worry about his athleticism because he wasn't that athletic, and he didn't have that fast hands or fast feet. So that's my only fear on that. As much as I want Tio to be put in the dirt, I don't think Keyshawn will be able to do it. I would love if they. I would still be happy if they make this fight, and I would love for Keyshawn to prove me wrong. But to your point about burning the box, it's interesting how he didn't want him saying he didn't want him moving up to 140. He also only mentioned that the best two fighters. There's only two good fighters at 135, Shakur and Keyshawn. But there's someone that owns Keyshawn 4 fights straight in Andy Cruz. So they avoid Andy Cruz altogether. Bernie Boxer does at least. But getting back to the TO Keyshawn Davis, that would be a fight we would want to see. Again, I want Keyshawn to win that fight if they were to fight. I don't think he does because of the experience of Tio. And I don't want Tio getting any type of glory over anybody, over anyone at this point in time out here. But I don't think Turkey's gonna make the fight, honestly, because going by his history, I don't think it happens. Also, why do they need Turkey to make this fight? They're both with Top Rank. I know it's all about the dollar bills, y'all, but seriously, they're both with Top Rank. You don't have to go here and beg this guy to do it for you. Everyone like to say they're their own boss. Hit up Bob. Hey Bob, this is what we want to get done, and then go from there and try to push the issue that way. But that ain't gonna happen. They're just gonna keep begging Turkey for this. But I don't see this happening. I don't think Turkey's gonna do it.
See Turkey doing it. The reason why you would go through Turkey is because you want to continue to fleece someone that doesn't understand the sport of boxing. I had a very interesting conversation with
Oh
someone
yeah,
yesterday who will
yeah.
remain nameless. And we talked specifically about Turkey's lack of ability in terms of his understanding of boxing and how ultimately it could possibly lead to his demise. I'm not saying that it necessarily will. Ultimately, I think it probably will because strategically, I can't see what it is that he's trying to accomplish, but we'll end up seeing. But um, like you, I'm not necessarily a fan of Teofimo Lopez. Just some of the antics don't make a lot of sense for me. Um, I think you can. I think you can. Race baiting has been a part of boxing for a long time. I think you can do it in a way without using racial epithets. So um,
Exactly.
that's my issue with him. But outside of that, I do agree with your point. I just feel like Teofimo is just too seasoned um, for Keyshawn to overcome at this point. And we saw Bob Arum here recently talking about the fight card that we saw earlier this month, and he talked specifically about top ranked matchmakers. And there is, at least in my opinion, there's sentiment out there in the community of boxing that top ranked matchmakers are some of the best, right? They have a pristine reputation, which means they do a fantastic job of matching fighters with other fighters that make them appear to be monsters,
Great.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe better than what they actually are. And they do that to help build narrative. So they do two things very well. They tie their fighters to certain fighters that have a popular name, and they do very good matchmaking. And they match make at the very right time, at the best time for their opponent. So, or for their fighter. So, it makes a lot of sense. So, I personally, just based off what Bernie the Boxer said on Mill City, talking about how, you know, De Los Santos hasn't fought anybody, but he fought Shakur Stevenson. Talked about how
Shakur.
De Los Santos only his best opponent um, has been
How you?
Shakur Stevenson, and he really hasn't even had, and De Los Santos will end up being Keyshawn's best opponent. If that is the case, and he's your best opponent, what is that saying about you? You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
great matchmaking. You're telling me that this guy isn't really all that good, but then you're fighting him and you're going to blow him out. It's favorable matchmaking. So it is what it is. We'll see what ends up
Yeah.
happening. I'm a
Wrong.
fan of Keyshawn. I think he's going to be great, but we'll see. You guys let us know what you think in the comment section in regards to this. I think it's interesting, and I would like to see how it plays out. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, M Sports Media, and we are